This is the High School Crossfire. Welcome back.
Isn't it true that awareness campaigns can oversimplify the issue about victims and perpetrators?
No, it's not true.
How do you respond to critics who argue that education and awareness alone can't address the root causes of human trafficking?
Phrase your question, please.
How do you respond to critics who argue that education and awareness alone can't address the root causes of human trafficking?
We don't speak of education, we speak of sensitization and awareness. Thank you.
Isn't it true that human trafficking networks are highly adaptable and resilient?
Pardon?
Isn't it true that human trafficking networks are highly adaptable and resilient?
No, it's not true.
Okay. Are you able to address the demand side of human trafficking?
Pardon?
Are you able to address the demand side of human trafficking?
No, please.
Isn't it true that law enforcement and policy changes are more effective in dismantling trafficking networks?
No, it's not true.
Are you sure that all people will accept, understand, and follow your awareness information?
I will again say we are trying to sensitize and address, make them aware of what is going to happen. Thank you.
Okay. What will you do for the already trafficked people?
Sorry?
What will you do for the people who are already trafficked?
They will tell them to prevent trafficking.
Okay. Can you be trafficked when you are aware?
Of course you can't.
Can you be trafficked by force?
No.
Okay. Can an informed person be kidnapped?
No, because you are
Okay.
aware that you're going to be kidnapped.
You can take your seat. So, we know that awareness campaigns are seen by most of our people who give us awareness. They try to make people feel at ease because they know that if they say the real truth about such events, they will make people feel afraid, and thus they try to make the gravity of the problem very low. And by doing that, they tend to oversimplify the issue and thereby perpetuating harmful stereotypes about victims and perpetrators. And even people will not take the information so serious. And in that, even not all people will be catered for. Look how many people afford radios, televisions, and newspapers every day. Then, though they afford them, how many people will pay attention to such programs? We know that youth, the most trafficked people, most of them like entertainment more than other news. So that means that they may not access the awareness and education information. And more to that, human trafficking is a worldwide issue. And that shows that raising awareness and education alone will not address the challenge, since networks are highly adaptable and resilient. That's why we are saying that we are enhancing security so that we can have these traffickers ambushed and caught on their ways. Then again, we have to put in mind that traffickers have their aims as to why they take people. That means that if you raise awareness to a person, so that shows that even education and awareness are unable to address the demand side of human trafficking. Then also, law enforcement and policy changes, they help to prevent traffickers from accessing people and also helps to recover people who have been trafficked. But in the case of education and awareness, they already trafficked people are not catered for. All those who are already taken as victims of trafficking, that means they will be left out to die or to suffer until they help themselves. Then again, thank you, I rest my case.
I would ask, who are the biggest victims of human trafficking?
The young people and the old people.
Thank you so much. Give 2 forms of informing them about human trafficking.
Pardon?
Give 2 forms of informing them about human trafficking.
You can inform them through campaigns or through
Yes.
gatherings.
Well, you say that with media, entertainment will be given attention rather than information of sensitization, right?
Yes.
Do you believe that sensitization can be done through entertainment?
No.
Okay. Did you say that you will enforce laws to prevent human trafficking?
Yes.
I'm going to ask this a second time. Did you say that you will enforce laws to prevent human trafficking?
Yes, we said it.
Okay. You can now take your seat. I asked them, whether they know the biggest victims of human trafficking, and they told me yes, they do. He actually gave them out, and even went ahead to give me the 2 forms of informing them about human trafficking. Quote, the question was, give 2 forms of informing them about human trafficking, and he went ahead and answered that through campaigns can be a way of informing them about human trafficking. He didn't first understand what I meant by the forms of informing them about human trafficking. Look, informing them is sensitizing them, making them aware of what is going to happen. We are trying to prevent human trafficking. And for their own information, I would like to inform them that very many are not aware of human trafficking. And human trafficking is something general, by the way. They don't know, it being general, look at the illiterate. The illiterate, most of them are the ones who are really being human trafficked. And now you come and see that they have to be informed. And when I asked him that, I asked him whether they said that media entertainment will be given rather attention rather than information of sensitization. They are films for their own information. They should know there are films that are broadcasted through entertainment that can be put for to circum human trafficking. I also asked them whether they did say that they will enforce laws to prevent human trafficking. Look, enforcing laws will not just come from nowhere and you bring laws and put them there for them to look at them. You first have to sensitize them and make them aware of what they are going to look through to enforce the laws about human trafficking. They also spoke of radios as a mean of communication in rural areas, not only for entertainment. They should be aware that the radios are the main means of communication in rural areas. Thus, these radios, being the main means of communication in the rural areas, are what the rural people will concentrate on for the sensitization of human trafficking. Listen, the public should be aware of human trafficking. I would like to inform them that public is not aware of human trafficking in a way that most of them who claim to move out for employment don't come back. The Human Trafficking Institution's 2022 Federal Human Trafficking Report shows U.S. federal prosecutors concentrated 94% of trafficking prosecutions on sex trafficking and 6% on forced labor cases. This shows us that they are not aware of what is happening. We have to go out there and tell the whole world about human trafficking. I rest my case.
Moving on, we had a team that was giving us sensitization and awareness, and we had a team that was giving us what? Security, legal framework, sorry. So now, team affirmative. You come up and you ask a very good question, because team negative comes up and gives us toll-free lines and all that. So you come up and ask them, how will the people know about what? About the toll-free lines. That was a good question. The team negative, you do not what? You do not answer. However, the team that took the day for me today was the team that was able to show that at the end of the day, if we combated the problem that they brought to us, that this debate was not looking at the best solution, okay? Weren't looking at solutions. However, the team that brought to us that if we actually combated the problem that they gave us, they would have done what? Fought human trafficking, because that problem is the major cause of human trafficking. Now, team negative comes up and, team affirmative, you come up and give us your case being sensitization. Now, team affirmative, you have the burden of proof. Both of you have the burden of proving to us that whatever problem you're fronting to us is the major cause of what? Of human trafficking. However, team affirmative, you have a higher burden of proof. You get that? Okay, now let me take you with the burden of proving that it is sensitization and awareness. First of all, you give us statistics of 44%, okay, of people in urban areas, and you give us a statistic of about 4% of what? Of people in rural areas. So first of all, they come up and they tell you, for them, they base their entire team case on showing you that there are actually limitations to sensitization. And betting on those limitations, human trafficking cannot be completely combated. That's one. Second of all, not only those limitations, however, even if we fulfill those limitations, won't people still be trafficked? Are you understanding? So now they begin with the limitations of sensitization. They tell you there are other what? There are various people that can be what? That can be trafficked. First of all, they base on minors, young children, okay? Which you gave as the biggest base of human trafficking. The young children, first of all, they cannot be fully educated. We are saying children that are not what? That are not in school. Even their own mental capabilities cannot be able to acquire the knowledge, right? They give you minors. Moving on, they come back to you and do what? And give you youths. So they give you various what? People that can actually still be that cannot be able to attain the knowledge of sensitization that you're fronting to us. After that, what do? They come back and they tell us other limitations. The 44% that you gave us over a country like Uganda, basing on the fact that actually you set your parameters, Africa, all of you actually fail in parameter because you only base your entire thing on what? On Uganda. Yet you gave us your perimeters as what? As Africa.
Can people who are knowledgeable, number one, be trafficked? Number two, can kids be sensitized to the level of understanding whether they will be trafficked or not? And number three, some trafficking is forceful in nature. What will sensitization do about that? I felt that those are questions that were never gotten to and never answered. And much as you have the burden to prove your case, once they introduce a new case, you have the burden to refute it. I felt that you did not give us answers to those arguments. To the negative team, you come with a brilliant idea of you're going to strengthen the legal framework and also improve on security. When you're to take that road, number one, debate rules require that you first prove to us that that is necessary. For example, what is wrong with the legal framework on an African level now, because those are the parameters. But number two, what is wrong with security now? And I felt that there are a lot of examples that came up in your debate, but you did not navigate them to that. You talk about DRC and the wars that exist there and the ADF. I felt then you could tell us that this is a level of insecurity that should it be cured, then we can cure human trafficking because people are trafficked there, but also the insecurity gives way for traffickers to go through. So I felt that the analysis was a little bit lacking. Number two, on the argument that your case answers both the people that are not yet trafficked and those that are trafficked, my problem is that when you read the resolution carefully, it is about preventing human trafficking and not at all dealing with mitigating or rehabilitating victims of human trafficking. So it felt like that part of your argument was not called for in the debate because we are not interested with whoever is already trafficked. We are interested in preventing trafficking at this moment in this debate. I, however, felt that there could be an argument that you can use to qualify such a statement because we all know that human trafficking is a subsystem crime, and preventing human trafficking includes preventing people that are already being trafficked from continuously being exploited and trafficked.
Thank you both for the debate. In my opinion, I think it was a fairly good one. Now, my judgment was based on one. Team Negative was able to show that even with the sensitization that takes place, because of radios, the reach, the coverage is not so much to reach people in the rural areas. So sensitization cannot reach everywhere because of that. And also, the unemployed people, minors, mentally disabled people, still, even with sensitization, they cannot be, the prevention of human trafficking cannot take place. And that is what I base my judgment on. And these are the marks. For style, I'll give both 15. Content, 20 for affirmative, 23 negative. Strategy, 20 for affirmative, strategy 24. with affirmative at 55 and negative at 62. And it's a unanimous decision that team negative takes the win.